guys, and welcome again to the Baby
Baby
Captains. On today's episode, we're gonna talk a little bit more about the 1500-hour rule. A little bit linked to our previous video with the degree. Because of the degree, you can reduce your hours to go to the airline. But today, specifically, we're gonna talk about the 1500 hours. It's a
rules
rule
by the
that
boss.
is very famous in the aviation industry, especially for those who want to become airline pilots
In the States.
in the United States. Correct. We're gonna talk a little bit about the how, the why, the when, and why is it so famous.
Why we wanted to talk it specifically using an episode to discuss this topic with you.
Yeah, so let's go from the beginning. When did it started?
Right.
Jess, why don't you bring some history class today?
Welcome to just a little history classroom of aviation. So it is about 2009. At the year of 2009, there is an air crash of Kogan Air. This accident significantly affected the entire pilot experience requirements in the aviation industry. The captain is fairly experienced, just to be said that, but he and the first officer, they both have a long commute before they started off the trip. Back in the days, pilot does not compensated well enough, and they are having a long day and their last leg into that Buffalo airport. Two tired pilots that have been flying for whole day and couldn't wait to go to their overnight airport to call it for a day. When during their descent, they had a stall, and the captain did not recover the stall correctly and get the plane into a steep dive. That's how it crashes somewhere the building closer to the airport in Buffalo, New York. Said to be said that in our aviation industry, the lesson always learned from blood, tears, and sweat.
The investigation said that this accident was because of pilot error. And after this, they came up with this safety rule that is the 1500-hour rule. It's I think it's one of the most significant changes that we have had in the aviation history for training and for airlines and pilot experience requirements. So just to make a comparison, before and after, before was
250 hours. After this air crash, it changed to 1500 hours.
Even though it was required 250 hours, airlines didn't used to hire people with 250 hours.
Correct. They will prefer whoever that has a way higher than just the bare minimum of 250 hours.
More hours than that.
Correct.
And nowadays, the 1500-hour rule is a very debated rule in the aviation industry. In a few words, it will be pilot demand or shortage of pilots.
The pyramid of the pilot pools has becoming imbalanced. So thinking about those senior pilots, most likely they are the captains. So they choose to retire. The company right now lack of captains. So those experienced first officer will be forced to upgrade. Who are the remaining? That junior first officer, that they will be lacking. So right now they are lack of first officer. Then who will be getting hired? For example, us, we are meeting the requirements of 1500 hours, and then we work as a flight instructors. We have all our specific flight times that meeting that requirements so that we secure that interview. Then we are getting hired. So the flight instructors pool getting hired, fill that hierarchy, the pyramid up.
Pilot shortage, it's a big thing, and it's happening all the time. In this case, because of the pandemic, a lot of people were retiring. There were nobody was getting hired. And after the pandemic, people started flying again slowly. But whenever they came back to fly in 2022, we had a high peak, and they were really lacking pilots everywhere. There were all the regionals, all the majors, and all of them were looking for pilots that were reaching the requirements, and they were just hiring people.
Correct. That also raised a flag to both of us. The reason why we're talking today for this specific rules because our boss has been switching their mind back and forth in this 10 years or 10 to 15 years. First, they raised the bar. Right now, they wanted to reduce back the bar. But Gabriel, do you think this is the perfect cure for maintaining the pilot pool, the numbers of pilot, but at the same time also safely guarding the standard of pilot experience?
The reason why was more hours, more experience, less likely to commit any accidents.
Really?
That's the background of the rule.
Kind of like a blanketed solution instead of the cure for the root cause of keeping the pilot pool, at the same time having us holding the highest standard of safety with our qualifications.
More hours doesn't necessarily mean more experience. There are a few ways that you can approach this, but one of the ways that I see is more hours. Yeah, you can get your hours. You can get your own airplane, go fly on VFR, on visual conditions, perfect weather, from, I don't know, from Florida to Georgia, back and forth, get 1,500 hours, go to the airlines. And you can also become a CFI, get your hours, get your experience, and you could have a different background just in those two different situations. You can also do Part 135, which is like flying for charter,
Corporate jets,
Part 91, and everything gives you a different background and everything gives you a different experience. At the end, all of the pilots are gonna reach 1,500 hours.
So should I say that it doesn't matter the quantity, it does matter with the quality?
You can reach your 1,500 hours however you want.
Mm-hmm.
That's the decision on you. Now, a lot of people can't afford buying a plane and just fly forever. So they will look for different ways to get paid, a CFI or a flight instructor, and all those jobs that are not well paid, but they help you to build your time and get to that point of the 1,500 hours, apply to the airlines, and reach the goal pretty much.
We fly the twin engine jet. For the specific requirements underneath that 1,500 hours general rules, if you're sorting for airline transport pilot license with multi-engine ratings, you should have at least 50 hours. The class categories, similar class categories. So by that being said, you should have at least 50 hours of multi-engine time, but in that 25 hours, it can be credited from a qualified simulator time. So quite a lot of pilots, they will go through that way with just 25 hours of flight time in a real multi-engine aircraft. And the remaining 25 hours will be completed when they are going through the ATP CTP course.
Yes.
And then we'll get them qualified for getting their airline transport pilot certificate.
So the question is quantity or quality?
That's why I'm giving you my answer. The quality does matter.
So 25 hours is enough as long as the quality was good?
No.
That sounded like that.
No.
So you're talking about more of quantity.
More of quantity, but in this specific multi-engine time, I'm saying that the quantity of 1,500 hours shouldn't back and forth saying that they raised the bar because of a Kogan air crash, and right now because of the supply needed, they reduced it back just to maintain the pilot pool in the regional airlines or major airlines. But right now, I wanted to specifically point out my point is that what did you do in that 1,500 as just you said, right? You can fly in a VFR, good day, ideal conditions, or you can choose to fly in a much more complex airspace, talking, communications with the much more busier air traffic controller. And then another one is your multi-engine time. Those quality flight time that is gonna be secure you, not just during the training in airlines. They are not just looking you knowing how to fly. They also wanted you to fill your brain up with like 900 pages of the policy manuals, and then you getting your procedure done. Then only you're qualified for simulator training.
Yeah, because once you show up to the airlines with the amount of hours that you have, they are expecting you to already know how to fly. So they will not be there to teach you how to fly. They will more likely teach you how to proceed with the procedures
Mm-hmm.
From the specific company. Procedures for normal procedures, for emergency procedures, and abnormal procedures. You have instructors, and they will be there with you, but are not expecting to go to the basics. So we were talking about there was an accident with the Korean fly. We don't know the airline. We're not gonna say that.
We really don't know. But
But just has a little bit of information about it. Why did it happen, and what was the error? Was it pilot error? Was it an airplane? What was the problem?
well, according to the Korean authority, the safety authority, they were saying that they had a bird strike on the right engine,
Okay.
but apparently the pilot shut down the left engine instead of the right engine after they have inspected both engines. Yeah,
Okay.
scratching.
So they had a bird strike,
Mhm.
and the procedure would have been
First thing first, whenever we have some non-normal things, pilots, the first word that we ever say is gonna be. But yeah, the first thing that we ever do is fly the plane. Plane got into abnormal conditions. You got a bird strike. Right now, you are losing a thrust of one engine. Doesn't mean that it does not producing thrust, does not producing lift. It still does, but just fairly low compared to the good engines.
and then just to the people that are not pilots, just can we fly with one engine?
Yes, the philosophy of designing the multi-engine is if we're losing one, the plane will still fly normally.
I mean, of course, something is going on, but don't panic. We can keep flying. The object, or the goal is to go back to the airplane, land safely, and continue with the procedure.
Yes.
But we can still fly with one engine.
With certain amount of time. Of course, it's not as long as how we used to have when we have both engines operated. Yep, that's the case. So yes, of course, you need to maintain the aircraft attitude, continue flying. Yes, your plane got into a non-normal condition. So what you have a non-normal procedures. So call out for the checklist. You identify the problem first. So with that being said, you identify the problem with who? With the person next to you. So two sets of eye, two sets of brain. We will be in the cockpit and verify what is happening with the plane.
And why do we confirm with a person next to you? Because when this situation happen, first, you are not used to this because this doesn't happen every day.
Correct.
Second, you're also nervous. Yeah, we are people. We feel, and then we also get nervous. So yeah, that's why we have a person next to you so we can confirm what the problem is.
Once we have identified and agree with the pilot that's sitting next to you, then now we came up with a plan. So by that being said, the plan will be doing all sorts of call out for some checklists, doing the procedures, contact the people that we need to. So, and then contact the person that can help you, which is in the air as well, and get the plane down on the ground as practical as we can, and as soon as we can, as safe as we can, get it down. So those are the barriers, and those are the checklists or the flow that should have in the pilot's mind. That is how the quality matter for the experience of the pilot. Doesn't mean quantity don't matter.
And just to correlate something about the 1500 hours and the engine failure, in my personal opinion, I think that a pilot with 1000 hours and a bachelor's degree and a pilot with 1500 hours, which is 500 hours difference, easy math, 1000 hours and 1500 hours won't make a huge difference. I think you can focus those extra 500 hours in a specific training for that airline, for that airplane,
for yourself.
And that's a specific training for this type of flying. And in this case, it will be the quality of these hours more than the quantity. Because I'd rather spend 500 hours in the airplane that I'll be flying. So I'd rather have that extra training in the airplane that I will be flying in the airline than keep flying a Cessna or a small airplane. 500 hours where, yeah, I will get my experience, I will get my hours, but does it really, is it really gonna count towards my experience when I will fly in the airlines? That's my personal experience, to be honest.
No, I would agree too. Don't you think that so we both, this is just my personal opinion as well. We both has been working and we have our MEI, multi-engine instructor ratings.
Yes.
And we do really feel that this ratings is helpful because during our initial training as a first officer in our company, when we have to go through the simulator training with V1 cut, which is also the losing engine procedures with our captain, we also feel that it is a lot to take in for this entire training already. But with this multi-engine flight experience that we have while we were instructing as a multi-engine instructor, this helped us to know much more better with the aerodynamics, how the aerodynamics works with multi-engine when we lose an engine. And then at the same time, it make us much more calmer when we are having our training transitions ourselves into the jet training, because they are kind of similar too.
I will definitely agree with you on that. There's a very good foundation behind that because we already first to become MEIs, we had to learn the theory.
Yeah.
And even though it sounds stupid, it helps a lot to understand whenever you are flying. You understand when you lose an engine, which is the most common thing that you will learn when you're flying with two engines, how to react.
Yes.
And then those basic foundation knowledge will be so helpful whenever you reach the airlines and then you have to do single engine operations.
Yeah, because it already set a foundation for you that what are the flow in general, and then you just apply the same mindset and same mental foundations into the jet training.
Yeah, and even though procedures are quite similar, it's not the same. I remember from our flight school, we used to call it dead foot, dead engine.
Yep.
And in the airline, we do
number one trust, number one engines, number one and number one trust level, number one trust level. Idle.
Yeah. So we confirm there's similarities and there's differences here and there, but it's a good foundation on how to react. And then you also understand how the airplane flies with two engines, how the airplane flies with one engine, and the different situations that you can experience with a multi-engine. And just to conclude, Jess, so you said that 1,500 hours, it's not even about the quantity.
Yeah.
But in a specific areas of those 1,500 hours, they should increase the amount.
Thanks, Gabriel.
And I see you have your personal opinions on multi-engine specifically.
If you can gain as much multi-engine time as you can, I would say that it stands you out with much more valuable time to the airlines. And at the same time, if you can have more for, say, IMC time, instrument time, because all we majorly doing in airlines, it's instruments flying. So if you can get your hand, eyes coordinated and legs coordinated with instrument flying, checking the instrument, the screen in front of you, looks like you're playing a game, but then you are checking all the indicators that should be in their position, and at the same time flying the plane safely, maintaining its attitude, then it will stand out for the airlines as well. So instrument time is another one that I would say it will be having higher value to the airlines.
And not only like, oh yeah, I have an airplane and I'm gonna go fly IMC, or have an airplane, I'm gonna have multi-engine. There's a lot of theory that you need to study for that.
Correct.
And then you will be applying that every single day whenever you're flying in the airlines. Not that every day is IMC or instrument meteorological conditions, but you will definitely use those charts for departures, arrivals, approaches, here and there.
Correct.
Every single day.
Correct. Don't you agree that we say that we train ourselves to prepare for the non-normals? The normals, we excelled it every day. But the non-normals is what makes us special, that we stand out and we are valued to the airlines.
And I definitely agree with you because there's the normal. Nowadays, airplanes can fly by themselves in the normal. But when something happens, that's when pilots are and to react to the non-normals, to the abnormals, to the emergencies. During normal, yeah, a plane can do a lot.
Yes.
They are very automated. We don't lie about it. But whenever something out of the normal goes, then that's where we are for. So tell us in the comments, what do you think? Are you on the side of the 1,500 hours, more hours, less hours? Tell us, is it the quality? Is it the quantity? What do you feel? Tell us in the comments down below. Please make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yeah, hit the like, share button, and also follow our social medias. And also, for sure, hopefully, our boss can see all the comments that you guys comment down below, and also some of our comment into this issues of the 1,500 hours rules. Boss, please look into it, okay? If there's one day that we can reshape, yeah, definitely this episode, hopefully it can be a helpful one for you. And yep, once again,
Welcome
welcome
aboard.
aboard.